how that all fell apart. But, you know, the biggest one that counts against them is that was their map choice. And so Team 1, if they weren't really well prepared for to play the first half, I mean, that's maybe not as bad as eUnited not being prepared for their second half to go on the CT side and try to figure out how to get just one more round than Team 1 were able to get against them. We move now on to Inferno, and eUnited looked... It was eUnited who played this map yesterday, right? I just want to be sure. I can't really remember if it was versus Furia. No, it was Mirage.
Right, correct.
It was Mirage.
I was blanking too, but you got that. You got us there, Launders.
Yeah.
You saved the day.
This is a map they can play, though. We know that.
Right. The question is how well? How well is eUnited ready? How well is Team 1 prepared? And how well can FNS hold off this B hit? He does have Moose and Dapper in the back of the bomb site. The players trudging along. Got themselves already up and over coffins. Moose comes in from the corner. FNS on the crossfire, but the damage is enough to have FNS fall off. Literally 1 HP. And an upgrade to the USP. Bit's got the cover. Maluk seems to want to go on the offense. He just needs to tap FNS. Blow on him, for Christ's sake. Will get it. And Dazzle trades straight away with that flyby CZ. Bit in the back of the bomb site, knows now where there's at least one player trying to tap away at the heads. Cooper getting closer, but Dazzle gets it done. And that right there is a pistol for United. Another 3 kills for Dazzle. I think he had a really good pistol round in the first map as well. Continuing to have impact. And as we talked about out of last map, it's going to be the most important thing that United try not to stay tilted, because that's such a tough loss to stomach. Yeah, man, that was just so hard to watch, honestly, for both sides, just entire map. Yeah.
You know.
Right. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, when Team 1 gets dismantled like that, I mean, think about it. All we had to go off of coming into this best of 3 is a 16-3 victory for Envy over Team 1. So to see them get like that outclassed by eUnited, I was just thinking to myself, like, well, that's a long trip to Poland just for 6 rounds of Counter-Strike.
Sure.
But now they've proven themselves in a way.
Yeah, no, definitely.
You know, not in the form of a win, but in the form of a hell of a comeback.
Yeah, not going to write them out. I mean, it's tough enough to come back on a daunting scoreline like the one we saw after the first half, but to do it on land with this much pressure, those things deserve respect. Team 1 have definitely earned that. Early bottom banana control for eUnited after they won a pistol pretty successfully. And it seems like a eco towards B. There's one player in the halls that could potentially jump out, but a couple of CTs that are ready for these fights.
Activating the stack up, FNS with a double, but obviously substantial damage done. So that Catalyst AK moves forward, not with armor, but at least in the hands of the team that bought it. Maluk seeking the entry. Deagle shot versus Dazzle will soften off the potential rotator. But for the moment, it is just Austin Abadir back behind Oranges waiting.
Abadabadoo.
Abadabacoop. Here's the flashbang. Obviously, it's going to be easy for the MP9 to take down the targets. You know, he's outnumbered, sure enough, and there was that AK in the mix, but no armor is a tragedy versus something like the MP9. He rips flesh from bone, and Dazzle, even though he was damaged, rotates over. So all good in the hood for eUnited. They'll convert their pistol for a second round.
Definitely pretty good. Maluk a little low. Everybody else will be able to afford AKs. I don't know what he's going to be buying. I don't know if he'll... Yeah, it looks like it was just going to get the UMP. I was thinking because if you get the AKs, you're not going to be able to buy the full nade, so probably want to pick up a gun that is not a pistol, but one that will allow you to have enough money to get the full utility belt, and that's the UMP. Not always great on T-side, but there's a role for it, and there's room for it for sure if you can get creative enough. Team 1 start out with the initial Molotov to car. Early banana control. CT's playing back in the sights. Dapper waiting till they clear stuff out to bounce a Molotov hard onto their heads. Let's follow this one. Ooh,
dunk.
There it is. Pretty good damage. I want to say about 50 in total.
It's like bobbing for apples, but the apples
come to you.
Oh, and they explode.
How about them apples?
Ready for the wraparound on the top of Banana. Doesn't look like Team 1 are going to, go exploring into the apartments at all. They're just using Nico to lock down middle, if indeed there is aggression, but that is not the case. Quick call for the rotate over. We will have Cooper leading the charge. It's just Dapper here for the moment.
Slave to the rotates when you don't have any information, and they've given up mid as well, though Dazzle will come back and peer into bracket. It might give them a false sense of security, though, as Team 1 have only now made their way back, or have started to make their way back. Dazzle throws the smoke at mid to let them know that they're not welcome here. And he spots a player in halls to give him confirmation that it might be a late round to A. His information has been pretty key so far, but with only 2 players here, they are still at risk of losing the site and having rotates too far away.
Gonna get that push out from lane. It's going really quick. Bit just looks to create space. Moose looks to cower and hide. He's gonna hear the feet stampeding around him, and he doesn't even look up from his committed position, hoping someone would fall off balcony instead. Never does that happen. So Team 1 go right into the bomb plant, full control, and a first round on the board.
They brute force it, and a part of me wants to say, Moose, help him crossfire from that spot.
Right.
And I honestly don't know if what he was doing was the safer option, but I feel like they've got to try to tag team them. Like, as soon as Dazzle shoots a bullet, Moose has got to get up and look around. They were just worried about the fact that a Halls lurk could have come out. I think they were maybe just a little bit too scared to gamble off of the information they had. Like, let's say Dazzle never learns that there are 2 players, or never learns that they're coming back to A, saves his smoke, and doesn't Molotov halls, and doesn't see a person in halls. If he doesn't have that information, then he holds those 2 pieces of utility. The player in halls is not a concern to Moose anymore, and they can use that utility and crossfire on all of the lane players that they know are there.
Right.
With the information, he uses 2 nades early, Moose doesn't help him, and they don't even get a rotate. So what is the point of even knowing, almost?
That's a really good point now that yeah. No, seriously good point, because he's just left at a loss instead.
Part of it's unlucky, part of it's kind of weird. It's a bit up in the air, but what do eUnited really get out of that? Or do they maximize what they get out of that more specifically? So now another situation where they're low on information. Not on health, not on utility, not on players, not on guns, but just on information. Team 1, minute 15. They have free roam over the map.
What I'm really hoping to see is a lack of timidness from eUnited on a CT side.
Timidity.
No timidity. We got that smoke bouncing back in the face of Bit. Dapper's going to take him. FNS flashing his way through a smoke, looks to just mow him down on the MP9, but doesn't get anything off of that. We've got TRK and IDK clearing sight. Cooper rotates back to the depths of Coffin. Nico M, wary of this, going to take a more off angle so that he can actually duel. And now that he has the safety of quad as well, it's going to create a little bit of hesitation for Cooper. He knows if he commits to these other fights, that there's always the possibility of that player who has just died swinging wide. So now it won't be the case. It's TRK close and IDK a little bit deeper. Headshot, instant. Cooper down, next frag follows suit. Moose knows now where they're both at, and a headshot doesn't even make a difference. He needed to follow it with that additional 11 damage. IDK lucky to be alive, but now Team 1 are in control. Tied up at 2 rounds apiece, and look at the cash for eUnited. They're broke.
In the dumps. Very close continuation spray by Moose.
Right.
Almost got that 2v1. Had the read perfectly. IDK, I think, pre-fired as well, so it was just a fierce battle to the bitter end, but Team 1 coming out ahead is not only a win for that one round, but potentially a win in this round as well. And it looks like eUnited have decided to force up on a couple of players. Most players buying down, spending a lot of money here. Why buy head armor on when you're forcing? I mean, you're not even, maybe not even buy head armor most of the time when you're going up against. I guess maybe because they think that it's going to be more MAC 10s on the board, considering they lost a round and the last one was a 1v1, so there's a lot of rebuys for Team 1.
Right.
Kind of surprised there actually aren't a lot of MAC 10s on the board for Team 1, so okay, that's potentially justified. Don't want to harp on too many things. But yeah, eUnited's money not in a great place. Bottom line. Close stack up at mid. Dazzle here to take first contact. And we'll try to both dodge flashes and get kills at the same time. Goes ahead and does that. Almost turns it into 2. His support falls off. Cooper made his way back and at least finishes off the kill that Dazzle started off.
Right. Now, nobody has actually traded Moose. He was coming in from Arch side. You know, Dazzle had sort of support from both directions, and only one did succeed. AK-47, though, in the hands of Cooper. That could be huge if he gets into the right position by the right time. However, we see this continuous conga line of Team 1 working its way up Banana. And they'll be facing Dapper, who has a deagle. Confirms that there's players near, misses his first shot. And that would have been a kill versus TRK anywhere in the body. Dapper's still back over by the coffins. FNS is trying to help him. A little bit of damage dished out by the young gun, but nothing further now. FNS will try his hand.
Might want to potentially save this. It's just they're going to probably wait to see if FNS can find a kill. And TRK will be able to be shot at without anybody else helping him just for a moment there. Oh, going out in the open. FNS is quite low. Cooper will activate himself and get a headshot.
Now they
Bomb is taken down past half, yeah.
Maluk seems to know.
And then he just hides.
Just has to buy further time, and he doesn't do so.
There's no kit, though.
He jumps back on it. Nope, not enough. You're right. Not even close. So Cooper knows, not fancying the chance, and instead saving the AK. So sure, it's a costly round. And this goes back into what you were saying, where it's like you bought head armor anticipating more MAC 10s. Had there been MAC 10s, then this one's not that bad. But you had 4 AKs purchased up for Team 1, and while they won the round, they didn't take any of those weapons with them.
Sure.
So it's a silver lining for eUnited. Obviously, they would have loved to get the round in and of itself. You know, it's not going to put them in a prime position here, clearly, with the artillery barrage and 1 AK instead.
Yeah, and if they could have, I guess that's just the bet they made for themselves, not being able to buy on this round as well. So not winning the round gives them another chance to go ahead and buy. A lot of good damage dealt on those nades that come flying down mid, along with the bodies themselves that are here to get absolutely eaten alive by the AKs. But it was a good attempt on the mid push. No doubt about it. 2 players left for the CTs over at B. Could have the Ts second guess themselves and assume it's a stack or a gamble stack back at A. But if Team 1 continue on toward the A site, they will be greatly rewarded.
Hell of a headshot. FNS just wanted a little contact. Gets way more than he'd hoped for. And Team 1 are going to be ecstatic with the start of this T side.
Trying to make sense of this logo here.
Of Team 1?
I think it's a T.
Yeah, there's definitely a T in there.
Does that count as an O on the back? Or is it just kind of a crest?
I don't know.
Oh, it's 2 1s. Mirrored. One's mirrored.
Ah.
Team 11.
And then a T that breaks right through. Okay. I was thinking, you know, for a second, it looked like if you're in first place and you get a first place medal, the medal comes on a ribbon that you wear around your neck. You know, it kind of looks like the medal would be on the bottom of it. You know, if there was a gold medal at the bottom of the 2 1s.
Team 1 stickers.
Could be a thing.
Could be a thing.
Hopefully by then they'll drop the, I mean, not even lowercase e-sports. Uppercase e-sports.
Okay, that's a party foul.
Like, yo, and then the capital N in the middle of 1.
That's just,
you're just trolling, right? Like you're playing games, brother.
That's personal stylistic choice. Okay, up until the point that you go up against the grain of the officially, I think it was by Merriam-Webster, officially stated, esports lowercase e unless it is the beginning of a sentence.
The thing is,
sorry, lowercase s and
right.
Lowercase e unless it's the beginning of the sentence.
The thing is as well is that there's another team here at the minor, Imperial Esports, that do the same thing. E-sports.
Okay. And I'm not going to go as far as to say that that's why I hope they lose, but I just hope they change.
You know what I think it is? It's the Brazilians trolling us, Launders. They pretend like they don't know how to spell it properly, and then they come in and take up all the major spots. Say, who cares how to spell? We know how to play Counter-Strike.
You guys are busy learning how to spell. No, I mean, yeah. I mean, at some point in history, this is okay, but No more.
Jokes aside.
Anyways.
Back in with a gun round. We had an early death. Poor FNS toppled, and a gun round on top of it. eUnited, they were just waiting, biding their time, you know, twiddling their thumbs, getting back into the rifles.
They did try to get in their face this time, which is a bit better. But, and now are kind of gambling. And as weird as it sounds, it feels like there just needs to be more decisive rotation calls from FNS for eUnited to like just be like, all right, this is what we think is happening. Let's go off the information that we think we have at the very least. You know, if you're wrong, you're wrong. But at least you don't hedge your bets too much and then have equally bad site holds and lose anyway. There's also always the possibility that if you overstack a site like they are right now, and they go to the other site, that you can save those guns into the next round. So now eUnited are going to make their way back. And look, they have banana information, so they can come back maybe early enough. Dazzle will have some pressure applied to him. He's in a pretty solid spot. And I don't think the smokes are out, so potentially Moose can try to help out. He does with a couple of good kills.
Yeah, commits to the spray. It's actually Dazzle who helped out in that instance I've seen. So Dazzle helps Moose, not the other way around. Moose runs in, almost lining up a couple other bodies. Could have primed Cooper for a 1 versus 1 clutch, but instead he'll clutch that op and walk forward. He's still got 2 targets, and he gets deleted. Rounds the corner, and IDK perched up on the boxes, squatting for his chance to kill.
Pretty good off angle from IDK. Typically, people are going to be in the left corner, you know, op start clearing it, but yeah, he hit the first bullet as well. If Cooper was scoped, could have still potentially won the fight. So Team 1, by the skin of their teeth, pull out another victory. And this time, at least eUnited re-aggressed for information. That was, you know, a welcome change. But Dazzle got full blind in the pit, swarmed. Looking for the same threat that Moose was looking for when he had the UMP that last round.
Right.
And Moose almost goes bananas to bring it home. Wait, what did Moose eat? Beavers?
No.
Geese?
I think they're
maple syrup?
No, I think they're
milk in a bag.
Omnivores, bro. Wait, no.
They
herbivores, that's it. We're omnivores. Actually, I didn't say that. I'm not starting debates here. I'm washing my hands.
Oh, is that a touchy subject?
I'm washing my hands before I get mentions, Launders.
I mean, it's out there. It's permanent. It's live on Twitch, so you made your bed, buddy.
Herbivores.
But I mean, that doesn't mean they eat every kind of vegetable or plant, right?
No, I think they're grazing animals, dude. Probably eat nuts, berries, like deer. You know, they don't have opposable thumbs, so they just gotta munch on what they find.
True.
No teeth, no claws. It's not gonna happen. Moose has got a couple claws. Just tries to grab back something in the round, tries to clamp down as he can, but it's not gonna work at all. We've got Maluk with the bomb plant in the final few seconds. 4 survivors for Team 1. They're moving through the anti-ecos. They're moving through the gun rounds. They're just moving through eUnited.
They're moving through their map pick. And the T side can be difficult at times, but the map has become a lot more T sided. The more pros I talk to, the more they feel like it is slightly, if not slightly, very T sided on Inferno. Really thought the AUGs. I guess of all maps, the AUGs maybe would have the least impact on Inferno. But still, there's room for them. Here's 2 ops, however. Dapper gonna pick one up. Flash to the top of mid. And it's just, as long as they fight a little bit for the map control, you know? You fall back off one flash, like, oh, I'm blind. Okay, fine. But come back, you know? Just come back, try it again. Call them out, right? Try to call some bluffs.
My eyes. You regain vision for a reason. Get some glasses.
So we fall back. I don't know if we have a library smoke here, but yeah, just shunned out of information. What do they do? Look at this. Cooper's rotated into library. The split's on. 2 players going to get crushed on the site. Who's going to help?
Team 1 not going to throw down a refurbished smoke. FNS tries to peek out. Cooper does get a kill with the op. Dazzle and Moose combined with one on the site, so it's that opera that's really made the difference. But there's that pit drop they always seem so wary of. Oh. Dazzle robbed. Tapped away by the sidearm. as he was safety tucked in the corner, so it seemed. The retake's on. FNS towards Boiler. Dapper trying to work around the smoke on Moto. Bounce Molotov into the corner. That's not going to affect anybody, so it seems. Oh, wait. Maluk, no, okay, he still have his position. Nico M with a headshot versus FNS. Wallbang so close that it's activating Nico's peak. He's trying to take down Dapper before he dies, but don't think the angle's going to work.
I think he's just barely missing yet. He definitely has a shot there. Now, though, however, risks dying. Misses the second, the follow-up, and eventually gets the headshot with the USP, so he'll keep the op at the very minimum, kill 2 players from Team 1, so they lose all 5. But at this point, I mean, we're probably looking for a change of clothes, you know? Like, they're just like going to the store at this point. They've got so much money left over, and at least for eUnited on this eco, they can use the SOP, have a much greater chance of winning, having impact, etc., so on and so forth. But that round, the site hold was better. And you know what? Cooper rotated around, but they took just long enough that their own smokes went up before they were finished rotating around, and Cooper had the ability to help out, as well as, I believe, FNS, who rotated in from CT.
Yep, he came out and peeked Arch, helping Cooper.
So, you know, it was just fine for that reason.
Now what's the play? Big Balk drop. Could be it. We do have this defense up close on the actual bracket, so bursting out through the apartments is a perfect counteract to this. And even if that didn't actually happen, you'd still have Bit just chewing through the pistol players. 3 frags in rapid succession.
How quickly this game can get out of hand. There was a 1v1 that Moose could have won. There was that last round that came close on the hold that Team 1 brought back in the 2v2, but they've been really strong in post plans. They've been pretty good at getting on sites. They've also had a lot of variation in their play. Their defaults have been apparently very intimidating to United, who have let them have banana control most rounds, let them have brackets very easily for just a single flash. No reason why Team 1 shouldn't continue to put together rounds.
I mean, this is just reminiscent to the very first half of this series where we saw eUnited tearing it up on the T side of Cash. Like, it was so apparent this was their map choice. And now you can say that again here about Inferno. Team 1, very comfortable, very varied in their attempts at an offense, keeping things fresh, being unpredictable, and honestly just being very clear-cut. Kind of like Furia were yesterday. When they decided to do something, they are all in on it. You know, like they sometimes don't even leave space for a fallback strategy because they're so convinced and so committed to what their initial plan may be, which is great when it works, which it has.
Absolutely deliberate. So it looks like Team 1 are putting up their half of the fight on Banana. Nades in response, using Bit, seeing taking all that damage from the molly in places that you'd normally go. A couple of really well-placed grenades to take Dapper out at almost no cost, but FNS is there to make sure he supports from an off angle as they attempt to rush past the op that they got down for free. And FNS will fall back in a position where he can get smoked out on an execute. You've seen them pull these off. They've got 4 smokes to do it. They are holding their flank as well, and eUnited have a small bit of information but are not moving with that information. They're just spotting Archway, waiting for the fight to come to them.
FNS going to throw himself forward. No rotators from eUnited yet. Now they'll start moving, but Team 1 definitely going to get the best of the B bomb site. And FNS, I mean, he's hiding behind a pillar as thick as him. So, I didn't mean, I'm not singling him out. I mean, all the player models are the same size.
Okay.
As thick as his player model.
I see.
What can a guy named Scrawny say, you know? Sometimes you got to choose your words wisely, kids.
Oh, you did. Oh, you did. I mean, it wasn't even like a Freudian slip. Like, I thought that's what you meant, so that was why it was so hilarious.
Right. No. So,
yeah,
I think we have to give this Portuguese team a pass in the fact that they've used, or Portuguese, excuse me. I say Portuguese because it has to do with language.
Speaking.
Right? The Brazilian team of Team 1, the reason they use a dash when they use esports is because in Portuguese, the language Brazilians speak, they spell it E-S-P-O-R-T-E. Sport is already esport. You know, if you just read it. So they use the dash to make a variation.
Oh, I see.
Right? Like
Did you just make that up?
No,
That sounded really good.
No, I was approached with information.
Connor's a great liar, so I'm impressed.
Esporte. That's how I would try to pronounce it. So
Yeah.
They need that variation, which is cool.
Oh,
All right. So if
okay.
anybody gets a free pass, it's anyone speaking Portuguese.
That makes sense. All right, well, that's good to know. Wow.
Thank you, Dalton.
All right.
What's next, Mohan? We're back into the gun rounds, okay? We want to talk pedantics, but Team 1 aren't going to let off this gas pedal. They are full forward with the T-sides. This just feels like an extension of what we saw on Cash. You know, they finished that map on their T-side second half, and then we're right back into it.
So what Team 1 love to get in their face when they do this. At least we've seen it like 2 times now. This is a pretty strong setup to be in. I think the last time they tried this, they only had like UMPs, and it was just the anti-eco that they were dealing with this on. Flash comes up, Hopper goes back, they hard clear FNS, separate the engagements, know where they're going to come from, clear out logs. Dapper gets pushed into taking a fight, but he's happy to do it, and then go ahead and get that kill. Cooper's also got a lot more info, and so this is a stark contrast to what we've seen. However, there's a player just outside the right side of his scope, Nico. Oh my goodness, and oh, Cooper peeks back into it. I don't know if he needed a bit more room to be able to shoot, but it was a matter of timing where they both showed themselves and fell back out of their fights. Want to call it unlucky, but at this point, it doesn't. It won't matter to United what you call it. They've only got Dazzle here up in the halls. At least safer than he is in pit, and he knows that he can't get flanked. But how much can he do?
Well, catches the op first. There's a second one in the hands of Maluk. Now dinked and down. But Dazzle takes damage in return. 10 HP is his. Nico M back behind the library, reading Moose like a book. And Dapper is going to come charging up through middle. They probably still have an inkling as to Dazzle being in apps. Dapper down, Dazzle desperate. He's got to find a way to cross or save. We are 11 rounds into the half, 2 of which belong to eUnited, and Dazzle has to swallow his pride and walk away from this. He did a good job of killing both of the AWP players, made it possible for the rotation between Moose and Dapper, but both of those rotators come up completely empty-handed.
Yeah.
And at the end of the round, he too toppled, so double digits to the favor of Team 1.
Yeah, they got destroyed. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much all you can do in that situation. Your teammate Cooper gets killed at mid. Nico had a crazy round for himself, those 3 kills. I mean, the 2 most important ones and then the 1 exit at the end. But still, fantastic. And Team 1 look like they're outclassing eUnited at the moment. Probably didn't need to tell anyone that. It's probably pretty obvious at this point. But look at how they dismantled Banana. Like,
yep.
It just they knew exactly what the setup was going to be. They called it out. Hard peek on FNS, flash Dapper back. Yeah, they go 1 for 1 there, but they get all of Banana back, and they get a kill with it, which on T side going down 4-4, it's not the end of the world. It's much harder for the CTs, who have to go on a goddamn expedition to get back to the other side.
To Antarctica.
Something like that. Is this in Portugal or Italy or
Inferno?
Yeah, it's in somewhere.
I mean, the actual map is influenced, I think, from California. Isn't that where people go to say, look, I visited
California.
Inferno?
Oh, okay.
I thought so.
Never mind.
You know, people take pictures in front of the bells that used to be in T-Spawn?
There's no buildings that look like this in California.
I don't know, Mohan.
It might be an old site. Okay. I remember the photos, yeah. Of just the spawn. IDK gets the spam. Nature of the map to get spammed down sometimes on Banana. But in the 4v5, what do you do? Maybe this will be good for them to be forced to try to get information. Cooper misses a small opportunity to get a kill back, and they've basically got eyes on 2 now. I think he knows that one player was at the bottom of mid. The information will be valuable, but not for that much longer, and Team 1 will continue to push forward and make this even more ambiguous as to what they're going to try to do.
Dazzle peeks into the dink. Not going to help his case at all. Not going to aid eUnited in an attempt to get the best case scenario of a 5-10 half. So Moose going to pull his best Dazzle impression and just try to stay hidden. Like Dazzle did in Apps, Moose will do so on the Graveyard, but that may be foreshadowing of his fate. He does jump up, does get at least one kill with Cooper by his side. Cooper's repeat misses the mark, but Dapper's rotates good at least for one. How many more can he nab? He's going to go ahead and throw down that smoke as he swaps to the AK and sprints straight in, hoping to catch them by surprise, but Nico M is ready. And Team 1 have 11 rounds now over the 2. A 9-point lead with money fumbling for eUnited. You know their back is against the wall.
Absolutely. Pretty standard post plant. They're in very familiar spots that Dapper ran into in the previous time. I think it was exactly Nico M, the same person who killed him even more quickly here, as Dapper tried to waste no time. And you could see why, you know, it's tough enough retake as it is. At least if you know the bomb is getting planted, you know where one player is, you know that his hands are busy. Try to luck out and find the other engagement, but that wasn't the case. And he ended up dying. eUnited force and will continue to force on this next round if they don't win. Low on money, but more importantly, low on rounds. And ultimately, they've just got to put those on the board so they can move into the second half and have and stand some kind of chance. Moose and Cooper have about 3K apiece, so they're still considering potentially getting ops, or might be Cooper just very happy with a 5-7. Moose with the CZ. Team 1 encroach on the top of Banana. Dapper gets flashed out of Sandbag, but the flash comes a bit early and he goes down.
Yeah, a bit waiting for the peak. Dapper goes for it off of his own flash as well, just trying to bail out, so it seemed. Bit to continue this play, at least alone. There's something for Cooper, but it is instantly shut down. Over towards the A apartments is where that unfolds. Meanwhile, the real front line of this offensive continues to unfold at B. Once that smoke fades, FNS is going to have to fall back, at least towards Coffins. He needs to welcome them forward if he's going to get anything done with that MP9. No way he wins a duel versus Bit at this distance. CT smoke will help. Bit looking for the shots. There goes FNS. He actually does try to duel with the MP9 at that. A bit of a foolish mistake in my mind, but Moose then, with an element of surprise, can only take down one. Leaving it to the last 5 seconds, Team 1 plant bomb, and Dazzle is nowhere to be found.
How are you feeling about eUnited's odds of coming back into this?
I mean, look, to be fair,
yeah,
I'm feeling as confident in eUnited's T-side comeback as I was in Team 1's on Cash.
Okay.
You know, 3 eco round wins, like why would I ever think that was going to happen? And while eUnited have been completely outclassed, completely destroyed ever since they won Pistol and converted the second round, I mean, Team 1 accomplished just barely more than this and still made the win happen. So talk to me 5 rounds deep into the second half if we even get there.
Sounds reasonable.
But to be fair, at this moment, eUnited are very seriously staring elimination in the face. And the scary part as well is that we finished Cash with Team 1's success, and we began Inferno with their success as well. You know, they've won the most recent halves, as opposed to having a break in between. You know, eUnited, it's been a long time since they felt good and confident.
Let's say Team 1 won this. We would have got map 3 if eUnited just, like, didn't even lose those eco rounds in the first half of the game. So, you know, something to think about as well. Not a lot of room to pad for losses here as eUnited move into what can potentially be their 3rd round win of the half. Their last chance to win a round. They do some early good damage on Maluk as well as IDK. And Moose is going to take Cooper's place at Arch opping. And I think Cooper also has an op, but yeah, he maybe didn't have the best spawn towards mid. Let's see if he can get something out of this. Goes for the timing shot after getting flashed out of position. But we'll come back in for more. Doesn't initially spot someone. FNS has been spotted on oranges. IDK is going to push right through the oranges, right into the face of FNS. kill him and put Cooper now in a defensive stance.
Can't quite track the flying T. IDK as well, deep CT, and comes back to damage Cooper. I mean, he doesn't even get a shot off before he gives up the angle. Re-peaks to his demise, and it seems as though, to no surprise, Team 1 have grabbed a very lopsided T-half. It's not quite over, but Dapper and Dazzle don't have any other decision other than to walk right in. There you go, folks. A complete and utter shutdown, a masterclass of a T-half coming out of T1. It was their map choice after all, and we see exactly why. The unthinkable has already happened in this series. We've seen the comebacks unfold. This one, however, would be even harder than the first. So we shall see if eUnited have anything left in the tank after the break.
Intel Extreme Masters is brought to you in part by Intel, Vodafone, Acer Predator, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, HyperX, Betway, and Pay Safeguard.
A 2-minute break may not feel like much, but I'm sure it feels like hours for eUnited. They have a daunting task ahead. The reality of the situation, elimination hanging above their head, has really begun to sink in, I'm sure, because Team 1 have been fantastic on the T sides of these two maps, and now with a pistol round, they could serve a swift execution. Dazzle gonna get caught down in the tunnels. Oh! Nikom just flicks straight into the skull of Moose. And like that, you have eUnited grasping for air, charging over towards the B bomb site, looking to topple over IDK so that they can at least get away with a bomb plant.
It's been a lot of tactically simplistic rounds that we've seen so far. That one was super cool, though. I love that alt push, the way that they flashed and set up with the push down alt as well as in the window peak. And now we're into an after plant that is not a very strong place to be from, not a strong place to be playing from. Cooper doesn't have any nades, even though he's in a pretty good spot to flank. Can he get the kills, though? There's one, and it's 2v3, and he gets to hide as well.
No, CTs know where both terrorists are at. Cooper, all that remains, he's going to have to be getting a 4-frag on the round. Bit's going to stick this bomb for the most part. Now the bodies are lining up, and he's just spamming. 2 bullets left in the magazine. Cooper with a 4K in the pistol round, at least a chance for eUnited.
And he comes alive. So we're mirroring here. I mean, it is Team 1 who have 13 rounds as opposed to 12 that eUnited had last time. So even more chances, right? Like just like a little bit more. But good, nice round from Cooper to come alive in that post plant. It seemed like such a fantastic pistol round from Team 1. And it was, you know, there's no doubting that. Shutting down all completely. Flashes pushed eUnited into their hiding spots, and they were able to come back. A couple of nades go down to the top of Banana, and we'll at least get to see the T side from eUnited. Counter grenades in response.
Dealing more damage than the initial frags. And then some.
Are all grenades artillery?
No, just ones that explode.
Just ones that explode.
Well, no, smoke artillery was a thing in the past.
Okay.
Not flashbangs. Also can't claim to be an expert. Just a guy.
No, wasn't trying to put you in that position. Just wanted your friendly opinion.
But I use it for frags.
Okay.
You know, they're iconic. Bombardments. Dapper sizing up Banana. Not going to be given a gunfight that he'd probably hope for. In fact, all of Team 1 doing a good way of just slinking away into the bomb sites. You know, covering themselves in the safety blanket. Waiting for the big bad wolf to come knocking on their door.
Ooh, good reaction.
Cooper blows in the first one. Bit then back behind box with TRK. Oh. They have themselves 3 frags, and Bit's gonna jump out through smoke. They've lost track of him.
No way.
They've lost track of him, and there's only 10 seconds. This is a man on advantage on top of it all. He can actually keep these players committed in their position as the rotates arrive. FNS dueling dies, and it all is on Cooper yet again. Up close, buying a little bit of space, ejecting out of the bomb site, and now he sees the targets, has to hit headshots and get Bit off bomb. He comes off himself, and there you have it. A little bit of TK towards the end, but all is fine and well for Team 1. A force buy on the pistols robs it back from eUnited. That is salt in the wound.
Salt in the wound. Couldn't have said it better myself. That is just so tough, and that's when it becomes more than just like a tactical issue. You know, it's just like you just lost that after winning the pistol. That should have been like your last lifeline back into the map. Before anyone leaves, just want you to know, saw a crazy comeback last map, and we're all holding our breath. But damn, dude, Team 1 just looks so good. This is their playground right now.
Look, if we've been holding our breath for a comeback attempt on eUnited, then we're already been blue in the face, because it was a long time ago that they were in control of this series.
True.
More than 30 rounds at this point before they seemed convincing.
It's got to be Tilt City for eUnited.
Especially considering at the last minor, this was the team that came in 3rd place and eliminated NRG on that pathway.
Yeah.
You know, like that was a big win for them. If anything, you could argue it was their most important victories, even though it didn't net them an actual result. You know, they went home empty-handed. They could still feel accomplished. What do you feel after this? Sore cheeks.
Yourself getting light-headed.
Deep frag, just trying to soften them up. Team 1, I mean, they're not worried at all. They're just going to relax, try to hold back the pushes, use the counter flashes and the weaponry they so clearly have as an advantage. A 3rd headshot for IDK. He's giving them no space, no chance. Finally, Moose tries to get himself back into the round. Dazzle comes up from Banana, but he has it all to do. Down and dropped. 12 map, match, and minor points on the line for eUnited, and they don't even have a full buy.
You know, maybe there is a chance that they could give Envy a run for their money.
If it's anything like Furia yesterday.
Just looking at what we've seen so far.
Right. Well, with Furia, you mentioned this, how it kind of came to life in a sense that they played matched up versus their opponent. You know, and when they played the better team, they themselves played better. You could argue Team 1 are doing that here. The only anomaly is they got wrecked 16-3 by Envious yesterday in their opening matchup. But it seems as though that's what's on the menu here this evening for the B stream. A potential best of 3 between Team 1, who, despite showing us great things here versus eUnited, are clearly not done in the office today. This would only be the halfway point, if even.
Last chance saloon. Cooper down to 20 HP. 2 players here around the A ramp, and Nycom gets hit by his teammate's flash, which will allow Dapper to find him, kill him, and take his gun.
Yeah, enjoy it while you can. Odds are it's going to get ripped away.
I just want to know how this all ties into FNS's master plan. You know, like, I just don't understand how this could, like, what part of the plan this is.
Step 426. Bomb out of the minor.
Yeah, that's, man.
I say it as a joke, but it's a sobering reality. You know, eUnited were supposed to be heavy favorites. They tend to dispatch of teams like Team 1 when it comes to the online qualifiers, when it comes to the regular events they attend. You know, this is definitely going to be a chip off of their block, but it's not over just yet. Bomb Carrier and FNS trying to clear out the pit. SMG goes dry for bit, and now we've got a couple kills, a chance, unless Maluk wants to take that away from them too. 14 seconds ticking away. Maluk caught by Dapper, and we're not done yet.
Okay. Somehow they bring it back. I mean, it's just a round where Team 1 are throwing kind of everything down mid and probably not really too concerned about how they push. But United go ahead and win it, so why not? Let's have another round. TRK has enough money for a full buy. They're going to go ahead and invest what they have into this one. Could get an op if you'd like to, but instead everyone was to get guns and upgrade their pistols and so on and so forth. It's pretty mixed up for eUnited. They recover an AUG. IDK looking for a first scout shot. Had a pretty nice go of it with the AUG holding down Banana. Oh, initial 2 kills come because of the scout. Well, one because he's watching down, the other because he actually tags him, and Maluk goes ahead with the 2K.
FNS got drawn into... See, here's what the crazy part. FNS goes for the mid peak because there's an MP9 shooting alt mid. So you'd think, well, I have an AK, he has an MP9, I can win this duel. But the scout shots were already flying past him. So you knew that left-right punch was waiting for you to peek your head out. Now FNS knocked out cold. Dapper's going to have a chance at an entry, but blinding flashbangs have him pinned behind the coffins. Dapper jumping up as Cooper gets the entry. That's the first rotator down, but the back of the bomb site not clear. It's Nicom in here, and he's got himself a Deagle headshot to win out here. Team 1, triple Deag, and that is that, folks. eUnited sent packing. Team 1 buy their ticket to the follow-up Decider BO3. They are seeking revenge versus Envy, having been sent down to the lower bracket. But it wouldn't be the first team today to actually make it from the depths of the lower bracket into the playoffs itself. We had that with Vici Gaming at the Asian Minor, and we saw them continually get more and more successful throughout the day as it went on. There's absolutely no reason that can't happen here. But before we cut to the break and prepare our teams for that BO3, let's review the bracket. Team Envy dropping Team 1 into the lower side immediately, who then went on to lose to Furia, the first Brazilian team to qualify to the actual NA Minor playoffs. eUnited dispatched of after almost bringing it to a victory versus Furia yesterday, but almost is the name of the game when it comes to eUnited's minor run. And so, folks, one last best of 3 here on the B stream. Team Envy and Team 1 E-Sports is what we're going to be having next.
It's pretty interesting. It's going to be a lot of questions that get answered as to like what Envy's form is like. How much can we grab from this match that we just watched, where Team 1 actually come back and they show resilience, and then they dominate on their choice? How good are they? You know, and then we can compare that to like kind of the Furia match, and also just like Envy's previous match versus Team 1, where they absolutely destroyed them. Is it Team 1 growing with growing? And so contextualizing all of these games is going to be interesting, and we'll get to see that in this next BO3.
Right. Not only will we have a full story at the end of it all, but we'll also be having all 4 of our North American playoff teams as well by the end of the evening. So, folks, the Counter-Strike has one last best of 3 still in it here on the B stream, and Launders and I will see you there for it in a bit.